Who's the bigger dumbass? LeBron James or Shedeur Sanders? LeBron makes one of the most idiotic statements, and Shedeur Sanders drives 101 miles per hour. We're going to talk about all that on today's show. But first, I need you to check out 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis because they transformed our bathroom in 48 hours. We were in the market for a new bathroom. We needed one badly because our prior bathroom was disgusting, embarrassing, and moldy, unhealthy living conditions. And we didn't want to wait 8 weeks for a bathroom to get done. So we found 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis, and they transformed our bathroom in 48 hours. Take a look at the before and after pictures on YouTube, if that's where you're watching or listening. The before pictures, we had a blue floor, a blue step, handrails, moldy shower, ugly, disgusting, embarrassing, and unhealthy. And we needed something different. But we didn't want to cram into our teeny tiny bathroom downstairs. So we found 5-Star Bath Solutions in Minneapolis. And they gave us a new floor, a new tub, a new shower, a new sink. We went from 1 sink to 2 sinks, a new vanity. And we love it. Everything is updated. And it was done in 48 hours. Affordable payment plans, free consultations. Why pay the same price for an 8-week project when you can pay the same price for a 48-hour project? 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Contact them today. All right. LeBron James. Let's start there. Here's what he had to say. Quote, I don't know why it's discussed so much, especially when it comes to me, about ring culture. This is a situation where LeBron James is sitting in a room filled with people that only want to defend his own opinion and not push back because he is the most powerful athlete in the world. Because if he wasn't one of the most powerful athletes in the world, someone would have went up to LeBron and said, yo, sit this one out because your comments are completely wrong and you look like a dumbass. Because when you take it with the context that LeBron is delivering it, I get what he's saying. He is saying that why does a ring impact the career of Charles Barkley and Karl Malone and John Stockton, Steve Nash? And the truth of the matter is, those players are still Hall of Fame players. So not having a ring didn't really impact the careers or legacies of those players. But at the same time, it did. Not having a ring did not influence whether these players were Hall of Famers or not, because they are Hall of Fame players. But it does cement their legacy or impact their legacy in terms of, are you a top 10 player of all time or are you a top 50 player of all time? Nobody would argue against the idea that Charles Barkley is not a top 50 player, because he is. But he's not a top 10 player. There's a difference there. Rings cement your legacy as one of the greats of all time. And LeBron, when he was talking about his comments, says it's a team sport, it's a team thing. And it's true, he's not wrong. But there also comes a responsibility of great players to take the teams that they have and make them great. LeBron leaves Cleveland to form the Big Three in Miami. The Big Three in Miami get old, and then he forms a Big Three in Cleveland, The big three in Cleveland get worn out, burned out, demand trades, leaves Cleveland, forms his big two in Los Angeles with him and Anthony Davis, and they win a championship in the bubble, which was a huge advantage for LeBron being in the bubble. And then LeBron comes out and says, I don't know why ring culture is being discussed so much in terms of what I've done. All LeBron has done throughout his entire career is chase rings, bouncing from team to team to team. And there is no other reason for joining and leaving the teams that he left throughout his career. LeBron James was a ring-chasing player. And there's nothing wrong with being a ring-chasing player. But when you come out and have complete irrational thoughts about why is it being discussed so much when it comes to me about ring culture? Because you chased rings. And what's funny about this is someone went into the archives of LeBron James and found his comments after the Cleveland Cavaliers won the 2016 NBA Finals versus the Golden State Warriors. Here's LeBron's comments.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For so many reasons.
I was super, super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years of everything in sports going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time. You know, everybody was just talking how they were the greatest team of all time. Like, they was the greatest team ever assembled. And for us to come back, you know, the way we came back in that fashion, I was like, you did something special. That's like one of the only times in my career I felt like, oh shit, like you did something special. I haven't really had time to really like sit back and think, but that was a moment.
Crazy.
Back in 2016, when LeBron won the title, because he won the championship against Golden State, he labeled himself as the greatest of all time because he won a ring. You can be a great player without a ring. Nobody is diminishing the talent that Steve Nash and Charles Barkley were. But you can't be the greatest of all time without winning the championships, without winning the Super Bowl or NBA Finals or Stanley Cup or World Series, because that's what cements legacies. That's what takes a great player and makes him a legend. What made Bird and Magic and Michael Jordan and LeBron James, what has cemented their legacy is the amount of rings that they have on a finger. And LeBron James made a career about bouncing from team to team, forming big threes and big twos when his original team or his second team got old and got worn out and couldn't win anymore. So then he left and joined another younger big three. Then he left them when they left or got traded or got hurt, and then joined his own big two with Los Angeles. LeBron has made a career by joining and making forces with the best team, with the best players. So this is why I made the point that I made earlier of all the people in LeBron's corner are people that agree with LeBron and say, yeah, you're right. And if I was in LeBron's corner, I would probably do the same thing because If you want to stay in LeBron's corner, you better tell him how great he is. You better tell him that he is the best, or, yeah, he is right. Or you might not be in his corner anymore. You might not be in his posse. So the fact that LeBron made these comments shows just how unaware he is about his own playing career and the decisions that he made. LeBron felt like he couldn't win a championship with the original Cleveland Cavaliers roster, which is fair because the best player outside of LeBron was Zrudas Ilgauskas. And his co-part in 2007, when they made it to the finals, was Booby Jones. So it's fair for LeBron to leave that roster filled with players that couldn't win alongside of him. But let's call it what it was. You were chasing rings. All right. Shedeur Sanders drives 101 miles per hour. Here's a story on ESPN. Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders was cited by police early Tuesday morning for driving 101 miles per hour, according to police reports. An officer for the Strongsville, Ohio Police Department stopped Sanders at 12:24 a.m. for driving 41 miles per hour over the posted 60 mile per hour speed limit in his black Dodge TRX truck, according to records. Shedeur flying high. 101 miles per hour in Cleveland. And the big problem with Shedeur driving 101 miles per hour isn't even the fact that he drove 101 miles per hour. The biggest battle that he is going to fight is the fact that he's a 5th round pick and he's expendable. Because if you're a 1st round pick, aka Jordan Addison from the Vikings, and you do something similar, well, you're a 1st round pick, you made a mistake, we'll bring you back because you're talented. Now, Shedeur has talent, but he is also a 5th round pick that every single team in the league passed up on multiple times. So his biggest mistake was in his unawareness of, or lack of awareness of, being a 5th round pick. And sure, he's probably set for life because of the amount of money that he made in college through endorsements and because of his dad and who his dad is. But this is a classic case of a player in the NFL thinking that he's unstoppable and thinking that he is almost unbreakable. I think one of the biggest shocks to the passing of Kobe Bean Bryant is the fact that a player as legendary as Kobe could die in a horrific plane crash, which was awful. But I think that was the shock to everybody. The fact that a player like Kobe, who seems so unstoppable and has such a powerful will, could be diminished by a mistake from a helicopter driver, from a pilot. And Shedeur Sanders, by driving 101 miles per hour at 12:24 a.m., thinks he's unstoppable. He thinks that something like this, something horrific, couldn't happen because he's Shedeur Sanders and a quarterback in the NFL. And you look at his decision and why he did what he did. Jordan Addison had the greatest excuse ever. My dog was sick or something along those lines. Shedeur Sanders, 12:24 a.m. You know, they always say nothing good can happen after midnight. And that saying is so true. What's he doing at 12:24 a.m.? Partying, going to bars, sleeping with girls. Who knows what he was doing? But for a guy that's a 5th round pick and expendable to drive this fast when he's battling just to make the roster with 4 other quarterbacks on the roster is a huge mistake. And we'll see what happens next. Because of the Browns' ownership situation, he'll still probably make the roster and still probably start this year. But this is a situation where he lacks awareness. Even if a first-round pick did this, it would lack awareness. But the defense that a first-round pick has is the fact that he's a first-round pick. And a team's invested millions into this player. Shedeur Sanders, he ain't making millions this year. He's making thousands, which is still a lot of money. But he ain't making millions. So a player or a team could cut this player and be like, hey, sure, we lost $500,000 of a non-guaranteed contract anyway, so we're going to keep all our money anyway. So, stupid mistake. Who's the bigger dumbass? LeBron James or Shedeur? That's a tough one. Because Shedeur risked his life by driving 101 miles per hour. And LeBron's comments were just stupid, unaware comments. I'm struggling with this one. I'm going to say Shedeur because he's a 5th round pick. LeBron made a dumb comment. This comment will just easily go by the wayside eventually. And people won't remember it in a week or two. Shedeur driving 101 miles per hour. That's stupid. That's just dumb. Dumb decision. Dumb decision. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Remember, 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Contact them today for a bathroom remodel in 48 hours. Thanks for watching, and I hope everyone has a good day.